Hey, welcome to the Maybe You're Like Me podcast with me, Mike Burns. Listen, I know we're all more alike than we care to think. We've all got dreams, we've all got hopes, but sometimes we can feel a little alone trying to navigate in this crazy world we live in. So, this podcast is all about you, and it's all about me and how maybe we're a little more alike than we care to think. Welcome to Maybe You're Like Me. On today's episode, we are talking to my friend, Andy McEntire. Andy is an amazing business leader. He's a great husband and dad, and he's an all-around amazing guy. We talk about things like baseball cards and Craig Biggio and how crazy life can be and what it means to really rest. You're going to love this conversation with my friend, Andy McEntire. Andy, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for actually having us here at Indie Atlantic, your studio. This is fantastic. This is fun. So, Andy, welcome to Maybe You're Like Me. And for anybody who's been like living under a rock, who is Andy Ulysses McEntire?
Ulysses McEntire. Well, first of all, always good to see you. Yeah. And I can't believe it took a podcast for us to hang out again, but
get it together.
We're here and, I am like you. I hope to be like you. So Andy McEntire, that's a big question.
It really is.
It is. But I would say Andy McEntire is a first generation Floridian. Parents traveled around the world from different areas. Settled here in Lakeland with our company, Indie Atlantic Films, that I founded back in 2006 while I was in college because I didn't want to work for someone else. So I figured, why not start my own company? I was crazy enough.
And you're good at it. So it didn't hurt anything.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, in the beginning it was fake it till you make it. And I realized you can't, that's not actually a great statement, you know? So you had to figure out how to actually make it.
You did good.
Yeah. I live in Lakeland, Florida with my wife and 2 kids and
that's awesome.
Have a coffee shop, a film company, and a nonprofit that my wife and I chair. So a few things.
So you're not busy. You're burning it at both ends, Andy. What are you doing?
I know. The funniest thing is people always say, all right, so how do you balance it all? Right. And I was like, you don't like at first I'd always have this like great answer before kids. And I was like, we just one thing at a time and, you can do it. Like you wake up in the morning, you write down the things you need to do. You know, you understand this the second you have kids, whether you don't even have kids, just getting older, you're just like, it's pure chaos, especially after the last few years. So, you can't balance it all. You just try to do your absolute best. So, I think I have my good moments, I have my bad moments, and you wake up, you say your apologies when you need to, and you get right back up. So that's Andy McEntire right there. You're probably the same way as I am. I've got friends that like, it'll be like a Sunday afternoon at 2:00 and they're like, hey, do you guys want to have dinner? And it's like, let me check my schedule. And then like, I'm like, can you do October the 38th? That'd be great. Yes. Because like just life gets busy and stuff and you're doing things. So yeah, I think I saw quick meme saying like, calling someone 7 years later. Sorry, it took me 7 years to call you back. I have kids, you know, and it's just life in general is just pure chaos. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And the thing that's cool though, is you have an amazing wife. Ashley's awesome. Yeah. And your kids are just like real cool. I like your kids a lot. They're fun. That's good. I'm glad I'm just kidding. I love them. Absolutely. They're remarkable kids. I don't deserve them. They're amazing. That's awesome. Yeah. Okay. So here on Maybe You're Like Me, we try to get past the filters, get past the Instagram persona, your highlight reel, all that stuff. Yeah. But before we can do that, we've got to start with the highlight reel. So if somebody's looking at your Instagram or like, what is like your best foot forward? If you want people to be like, man, Andy's awesome. Who's that guy?
Ooh. Well, it's funny. So I try not to do too much on social media anymore, which is weird, but I'm on social media.
Sure.
You know, something is you're not going to see a ton of my family because I just don't put them out there a lot.
Yeah.
Try to keep their privacy. And as they get older, if they choose they want to do it, we do it. Right.
Yeah.
But overall, it's going to be mostly enjoying the outdoors. Right.
Okay.
It's usually, you can always tell when I'm on vacation or something because I'll actually post, right?
Yeah.
A lot of fly fishing.
Yeah.
Like that's just, I could do that every single day of my life.
Oh man.
Let's see, a lot of camping, Airstreaming, right?
Yeah.
Airstream, is big to our family.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think those are some of the biggest interactions. This is a curveball. I'm going to throw you this and it's not there yet. The curveball is also on my FYP page, right?
Sure.
On TikTok or anything, a lot of sports cards. Would you believe that about me? Yeah.
I would believe it. Is that your goal? Like, do you want to start collecting baseball cards, and or are you already collecting baseball cards?
I'm way past that part of collecting, and now I'm into hoarding.
Okay.
As my wife would say, no. So it's weird. Like when we were young, when I was younger, right? I think we all, we loved certain things. Right. And I think trying to find that inner child and be okay with like, hey, it's cool to do some of those things again and do something that you enjoy, have a hobby. Right. So yeah, sports cards, that's kind of my kind of curveball in there of like what I actually enjoy. I don't think people always see that with me, but I'm becoming a huge like sports card collector.
All right. So this isn't scripted at all, but what is your favorite card that you own?
Oh, that is a good question. Actually, it is. My favorite card currently would be King Griffey Jr. It's actually from Topps Project 70, which was their 70th anniversary and everything. So Project 70, and it's a King Griffey Jr. 1/1 gold frame.
Whoa.
So to land one of those is a big deal. So 1/1s is what you want to land. So,
absolutely.
So that right there is probably my favorite card I have right now. I'm a big Griffey fan. Okay. It's a really cool, this artist, Chuck Stiles, redesigned it. And so it's merging art with sports card. And that's what got me back into collecting. It wasn't just, hey, here's a boring sports card or here's an error on a card. It's that there's artists that are now recreating these cards. And so that was the one card. So I actually been talking to the artist, Chuck Stiles. He's amazing.
That's cool.
I told him, hey, dude, I landed this. And he's like, that's amazing. And he's a neat guy. He just did the cover of Madden 23. Awesome. So really cool guy. I get really into it. I'm really big into collecting very rare, like random, like baseball memorabilia of like autographs, like the old commissioner of the National League, like his autograph, 1/1s there, or actually have one of an umpire, one of the most famous umpires, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah, like who collects that, right?
Well, apparently you do,
right? But he used to wear a bow tie, all these things. So, anyways, that's I've got to get sports card. If we don't talk about now, I'll start talking about the rest of the time. So, okay.
Well, I'm happy we got it out of the way. Have I ever told you my one sports thing?
No, but I want to hear it.
Okay. So I don't actually sports very much. That sounds like a very millennial thing to say. Like I just never connected with sports. Like I love music. I could tell you all about Dave Grohl's life ad nauseum, but I don't like think about sports. I don't watch sports. It's not my thing.
Yep.
And I know you're a huge baseball fan.
Yeah.
And so a few years ago, I decided that I needed to have like a sports thing in case anyone asked me like, who's my favorite team or who's my favorite whatever. And so my grandma's favorite baseball team was the Houston Astros, and her favorite player was this guy named Craig Biggio.
Oh yeah.
So Craig Biggio, am I even saying that right? I'm not even positive.
Biggio.
Yeah. That's how bad I am at this. So
it's not an easy name to say.
Craig Biggio. I don't know if he's Italian or not, but so Craig Biggio. And so that's my answer for everything. So like, if you ask me who won the World Series in 1902, Craig Biggio. Yeah. Who is the tennis world champion? Craig Biggio. Like anything sports is Craig Biggio. And to the point that my family now, like for Christmas or for birthdays, whatever gag gifts, they give me Craig Biggio stuff. So I've got a Craig Biggio jersey, and I've got Craig Biggio. I actually have a signed card by him.
Yeah. So, are you kidding? Okay. I'm like, now I know what to get you.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if you were looking, anybody out there, if you're looking for actually, I really don't need any more Craig Biggio stuff.
Life-size cutout on your front.
Oh man. If I wake up to that in my yard, I would freak out. So
well, you know who to blame if that happens.
I can't wait.
I have a few cards for you then.
Oh man, that's fantastic. So yeah, young Craig. And actually I found this out later in life. I don't actually think I was right. I don't think that was her favorite player. I think it was a guy named Craig Reynolds.
Okay. So totally different. I love that you got the name wrong.
Yeah, it's a Craig though. I feel good about that. Yeah. So oh well. Moving on.
Hilarious, actually. Craig.
So yeah, any Craig or Nolan Ryan was on that team back in the day. So
Nolan Ryan, Biggio, Bagwell, all those guys, and Biggio's son, I believe, plays now.
He does.
And so, you've got some of those. That's how old we are at this point, right? Is that
absolutely
coming full circle?
He's in the Baseball Hall of Fame, MLB Hall of Fame there. So,
so you know sports.
I picked one person and I just went all in on that guy. So
when you get you're out out to dinner and you have this random question that someone asks you, you can have this knowledge.
Absolutely.
And you can say, I know this about this person, and just don't sway from that at all. You need to learn one more.
No, I really don't think I'm going to. There's a problem with this though, is like, if I'm wearing the jersey that I got out and about, people are like, go Astros, or do you think they're going to do it this year? And I'm like, yeah, they are. They're really going to do it. Or when people got real mad at the Astros a few years back, there was some scandal business there. You get a little recoil,
a little cheating.
It happens. Your team's got to do good. You got to put it all on the line. And so, the people would get mad at me, and I didn't do anything.
That's hilarious. At least you're going to be the best at trivia for Craig Biggio.
Yeah. If there is if there's a Craig Biggio trivia night anywhere, please write in and let me know.
All right, what was his position?
He was a shortstop, I think. So
second base.
I was close.
Yeah. Wait, I think, he was second. Wait, I could be wrong. Watch. We got to Google this right now.
Absolutely. Get it on the phone. For everyone listening, Andy is furiously typing on his phone, and, I don't want to make him feel bad when I'm right in a second, but
you might actually be right. I'm pretty sure he was second base, but I could be.
Listen, I've got one card and it says shortstop on it. So actually, I don't know.
Second baseman.
Second base, which is right next to shortstop, which I feel vindicated about. So,
but then it goes on to say catcher and center field. I don't remember all that, but second baseman. There you go. So now we at least gotta get that trivia right.
Yeah, this is the knowledge portion of Maybe You're Like Me. So everybody learned something today.
Yes,
a useless baseball fact. All right,
and I'm going to be wrong about 90% of these questions.
That's fine.
So I got my one thing right out of the way.
Okay, so here on Maybe You're Like Me, we do the podcast in a few rounds of questions. Perfect. The first round is the first date round. These are just some fun, get to know you kind of things. And I sent you these questions ahead of time, but I'm going to change the first one because why not? Life's short.
I figured.
All right. Yes. So you are married. How long have you been married now?
11. Yeah, was that
the hard one?
After 11 years.
11 years. Okay.
Down, yes.
I'm catching up. I don't think I'm ever going to catch up, but I'm getting closer to you. But so I haven't been on a first date in a while, but I've also been married for almost 9 years in a couple weeks here. So, all right. So you and Ashley, you're just living your day-to-day life. Is there anything that you do that you intentionally do to annoy Ashley? That's just like an inside joke between you guys.
Oh, that's a great, oh man, that is a curveball.
And if you need a second to think, I'll tell you mine.
I just called and apologized to her about something I did. She is a saint with me and dealing with Andy McEntire, but I don't deserve her 100%. She's fantastic. What do I do that annoy? I have a great story actually. I'm going to try to be quick because we talked about sports cards forever. When we first got married, she hated being scared.
Okay.
I grew up in a family that we just scared the heck out of each other. It was just something we loved to scare each other. We thought it was hilarious. And she said, I hate being scared. Don't ever scare me.
Yeah.
Well, we're driving on Beacon, a road here in Lakeland. Yeah. It's dark at night and a cat runs out. Clearly hit this cat. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got to pull over. I've got to see what's going on. I'm going to have to bring it to a vet or it's dying. I don't know.
Oh man.
So we pull over. Sorry, that's a little graphic. Pull over. And I'm like, okay, it's going to be squished on the front of my car. Like that's just what it's going to be.
Cartoon version.
Exactly. I'm going around the car and I start to peer and all of a sudden the loudest noise I ever heard comes out and I jump so loud. Well, Ashley thought it'd be hilarious to slam on the horn right when I look over. And I said, our deal's off. I'm scaring you the rest of the time. And I held on to it for about 8 years. I did not scare her. And all of a sudden I just opened it up. And so, so I've gotten some good scares back to her, but she kind of brings it right back to me and she catches me off guard so bad. So I think that's a little way we somewhat annoy each other, but you know, this like little back and forth. So.
Yeah. When you're married, you got to keep it fresh. You got to have some fun somewhere. So
and buying more baseball cards might be another annoyance.
Yeah, maybe
just a little bit.
The thing that I do that it just so fantastically gets under Kat's skin right now is I will, and this is a weird first date question. Tell me about your spouse. So if she's driving and we're at a red light, I'll wait. And when the light turns green, I'll say green, but I won't say green. I'll say green. And like, I'll roll the R and stuff. And there will be times where she's already moving and already halfway through the light, and I'll go green. And I don't know why, but it just gets so far under her skin.
That's funny.
That anytime we're at a light, even if it's red, I'll be like red.
But you can't help yourself at this point, right?
No.
You have to do it.
No. And like, she's not mad, but she's just like, I'm going to murder you. Quit doing that. And it's great when like we're downtown somewhere and like, it's just like red light after red light. And so I get to do it like 6 times in a row. Green. And it's amazing that I'm still alive. So
that's too funny.
So if you want to steal that to annoy Ashley, you just go for it.
I think I might have to.
Absolutely.
She's the one reminding me, hey, the light is green. Like the light's green.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, I've got to pay. I am driving this vehicle.
You zoned out.
Now I have something to work on. I'll just stare at the light. Green. I can't roll my R's like you, so I got to work on that.
Listen, it's all that Spanish that I've been learning.
Tell you what. You know, it's like it's a different language or something. You know?
All right. I love the Olympics. Are you an Olympics fan?
I do. I like it. It's nostalgia and yeah,
absolutely.
I like it.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with the Olympics. So if there was an Olympics for everyday activities, what are you gold medaling in?
Keeping my kids alive.
Okay. Yeah. That's a big one.
Yes. 2 boys. They are, they wrestle a lot. The age gap is a good 4.5 years.
Okay.
But the little one wants to be like the older one. So that's intense. So if I don't have to take them to the hospital, that's at least a silver medal right there.
Absolutely.
You know? Yeah. So if they're not in the ambulance, that's a gold medal to me. So sounds silly, but truthfully, if I don't have to, if I can keep them alive and I can keep them occupied and them not killing each other, life is great.
That's absolutely the truth, man.
Yeah. It's probably for all dads and moms, I think just surviving, that's going to keep us. What's above a gold medal? Platinum medal?
I don't know, but we just made it up. Yeah. Congratulations. They're both alive as of. Do you need to call and check to make sure?
You know what? They gave me heart attacks every day. So I'm learning to just roll with it and embrace it and let kids be kids. You know, we try to get them outside muddy and let them play hard and stuff, but also trying to keep them safe. So I don't want to be that dad that says, be careful all the time. Because I find myself doing that. You know, you want to keep them safe, but then you also want them to be kids and they've got to learn their own boundaries. So it's like that both.
There's somewhere, actually, I think it was on TikTok. I heard this, like one of the like sounds that people use is like letting kids do dangerous things carefully.
Yep. 100%. Yeah. I saw that same thing. It's so true.
And it's so tough though, because I'm like, I really want you to stay alive, but I also want you to figure out like how to climb or how to be a human. So you got to learn.
You got to know their boundaries, right?
Yeah.
But don't break your leg while you're doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. I really don't want to pay for that bill. Yeah. With our kids, if I was to play in that Olympic sport, it's kind of the same thing because, especially when they were a little younger, our younger son, Will, would try to do everything Ben would do. Yeah. And Ben was real big into jumping off the couch.
Yep.
And we call Will our expensive kid because he's the one who's going to try it. He's just pedal to the metal, but he's going to try it and get hurt. So
I understand it. Well, I feel like I didn't even medal or place I didn't get any podium finishes this year because I already hit my deductible and it wasn't even halfway through the year. I'm like, you know what? This year I'm not winning the Olympics, but next year maybe.
Will is actually, if he's got a few days, it's almost his birthday, but if he goes to the hospital between now and his birthday, he's gone to the hospital once a year, every year for his life. So that's not a goal.
That's not a good goal, is it? But at least maybe you can win something, bills and hospital bracelets.
he wins expensive kid Olympics. Yes. So
I love it. I feel like they just didn't take us to the hospital back in the day. They were like, you're fine. You know, now it's like they're at the hospital all the time. So.
What's a concussion? All right. So one more here in the first date round. And you've got great parents. I've met them a few times. They're good people. I don't know if you've met my parents, but
I have one time at the playground at Common Ground.
There you go. Yeah.
Great people.
Oh, the best.
Yes.
They are fantastic. So you've got good parents, a great dad. What's a fun piece of advice that your dad gave you?
Oh man. A fun piece well, I'll tell you a few things. He would always joke. He's like, before we do something, and it was in good humor.
Sure.
Hey, don't embarrass us. And I was like, I was like, all right, don't embarrass, and I didn't take it literally, but it was always a joke for him. Hey, don't embarrass us out there, and he'd laugh about that. But he had so many good pieces of advice, but my mom also did too. I think this is important to say.
Yeah.
My dad had endless knowledge. He was patient. He was loving. He was kind.
Yeah.
I remember pitching in his baseball game when I was young, and I did horrible. And I felt like I let the team down, and I walked back. He drove next to me the whole time, sat down on the porch, and that was my perfectionist mentality.
Yeah.
And he just listened. He just sat there, didn't try to fix anything, just sat there with me. And so that's my dad. That's who he is. He was the most patient man. I take after my mom a little bit more, got a little more fire under me, and everything. But my mom said this is, and you'll see me post this a lot on Instagram and social media. She said, Andy, when I graduated high school, she said, Andy, you're the only one that can hold yourself back.
Oh man.
Right. And so I didn't realize what that meant until years later. It was probably, 15 years later. I finally was like, what, that makes sense. I'm genuinely holding myself back. And what does that look like to me? And so I think a lot of us don't realize what that means, like truly means, until you start to live it. And so I think the best piece of advice I've gotten from my parents collectively was you're the only one that can hold yourself back.
Yeah. When I was thinking about this, I had written down funniest advice. And so I wasn't thinking about serious stuff at all. You took that way deeper than I was planning.
I did go serious, right?
But I liked it. No, that's fantastic. I want to just sit and think about that for the rest of the day, and I'm going to. Yeah. But mine was, and this is not serious stuff. Like my parents, again, like great nuggets of wisdom throughout my life. But my dad, speaking of first date round, he always told me
that was a really funny transition.
Yeah. Always told me, like on a first date or when you're dating, don't take the girl to an Italian restaurant and don't get spaghetti. Or if you take her like anywhere, don't get spaghetti. Yeah. Because there's no cute way to eat spaghetti. Yeah. And so,
so you took Kat, right, to get spaghetti on the first date?
You know what? No, we actually went to a barbecue place.
Oh, so even worse. It was just as bad.
Yeah. Face covered in barbecue sauce. You can't go wrong. That's where
she fell in love with you, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we had actually.
I want a piece of that meat.
Nope.
Can we cut that?
And this is the end of Maybe You're Like Me. Thank you, Randy, for never coming back.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so that was the first date round. Excellent work. Way to take it serious there. Really try to deepen it when it's just the fun stuff. How dare you?
Yes, And
then you call me a piece of meat. But whatever. You can't win them all.
Kat saw something in you that day.
All right. So let's keep moving on. So that was the first date round. This next round is the slow round where it's a little bit more, it's not just fun stuff, but it's a little bit more heart. It's a little bit more who you are, to get to know you just a little bit better. And so these are things that I wanted about you, and maybe you would want to know about somebody else too. But when you were a kid, what was the dream for your life?
Oh, that's a great question. I can say, oddly enough, my mom will say this too, because she found them. I would get really bored in school.
Yeah.
And so I would draw. I'm a very logistical and geographical person.
Okay.
It took me a while to learn that about myself, but I would draw out everything that I wanted. And it was very, very physical stuff. It was weird. Like I want a music studio or a music venue with a film studio and a coffee shop.
Whoa.
Yeah. Odd, right?
Yeah.
And I saw the drawings when I was like 13, 14.
That's awesome.
And so, and I would do that. And I literally found something the other day from about, 15, 16 years ago that literally had almost the exact layout of what's here today. And the odd thing is the only thing I'm not doing, I've got the coffee shop, I've got the film studio. They're separate, right?
Yeah.
But I don't have the music venue, but I did do the music venue when I came from a pastor's family. We didn't have tons of extra money, and my parents, gave me my first loan to even do it. But, what's cool is I ran concerts during college. I don't think a lot of people know that about me, to make money to pay to start Indie Atlantic.
That's cool.
And so I would have 900 kids at this one concert and stuff. So I did the music side, and then I realized really quickly, this is really hard. Right. Yeah. Props to musicians who stick with it, who provide amazing music. It's not always easy, and they have to fight for it. Right. I realized I was like, that being in that business is exhausting and tiring. So I realized really quick, I'm not going to do that. So coffee wasn't until TJ, my business partner, best man at my wedding, one of my best friends.
Yeah.
It was after Indie Atlantic started. That's when we decided, in Lakeland, we're going to do a coffee shop. But all my plans, my dreams, my hopes and dreams were to provide a community, a space that people were welcome people felt accepted and people could be themselves.
Yeah.
People could be creative. People could have, their dreams. I'm a big fan of dreams, right?
Yeah.
One of my favorite quotes from the late Evelyn Willis, who was a longtime Lakeland resident, said, "You have to have a dream to have a dream come true."
That's
and
cool.
I realized a lot of people don't allow themselves time to dream. All their dreams are different, right?
Yeah.
And so for me, that was my dream. And it's kind of surreal to see a lot of that come to fruition. And I wanted to travel the world. I think I went to 25 to 30 countries before I was, 23 years old. And I almost didn't know what to do with myself when I hit those goals. And so it's really important that we dream again. So you talk about as kids, like getting at the heart of it is like, yeah, it's important to dream as a kid, and you're innocent. You have no idea the world is perfect, all these things. But as you get older, it is even more important for us to stop and say, hey, what are my dreams? And your dreams will change, right? Your hopes and dreams, but don't hold yourself back.
Mm-hmm. That's incredible, man. Mine was to be a rock star. So
I was wondering give me some insight. What did you want to be?
I legitimately wanted to be Bono from U2, and part of me still wants that. There's still hope. There's still hope, but that's not what I'm pursuing. But when I wanted to be a performer. Like it's
a performer.
That's just kind of how I am. It's who I am. And so, I remember growing up, we had, these cassette tapes, these videos of like different like short kids music videos. Yeah. And one of them was this guy who was wearing a leather jacket and like out in a parking lot was like playing his electric guitar, not plugged in, looking back on it now, it's super corny. But like that, I was just like that. I want to spin around with a guitar in the parking lot with the guitar.
So you are going to be at Staples one day and you're going to be doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. No one's going to pay or watch it. I'm just going to be spinning around the parking lot with a guitar.
I'll come see you.
Oh man, that means a lot. Thank you.
I'll throw some tomatoes. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
I wondered why you were stopping by that farmer's market.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I just, that's always been a part of me. I love entertaining. And then it's fun, like taking the steps as an adult to start doing things like this and talking to people like you and figuring out as an adult what that is for me and how that's going to work out. It's ridiculous that yours, like you just dreamed it out and like you're doing the things that you wanted. I don't feel like that's the norm, but I'm proud of you for doing it. And I'm really happy because I've bought way too much coffee at Concord and the films and videos that you guys make here at Indie Atlantic are ridiculously good. Like,
appreciate that.
Make me angry. Good.
And never settle. Right. And I think believing in yourself, and there's times when I doubt myself, like 100%. And as things actually start to fall into place, I became more doubting myself because it was odd. It was like, if you have something you're working towards, you always have something that you're working towards, right? You have a challenge, you have these things like, I can do this. And then as you kind of things start to fall into place, you're like, that's weird.
Yeah.
And that's that almost like you're used to chaos, right? And you're used to like surviving after that. But I commend you for starting this podcast. I think it's a really cool idea. I think you've got some amazing guests. I think you're a great host. I'm excited to see you get out and perform to how you want to, because you're a freaking good person. You're amazing. You're hilarious. Right. So I think, I hope more people will watch this and listen to this if you're listening. And it's good stuff.
If you're listening, I am very much blushing right now.
You're crying.
Yeah. I several single tears, but I don't want, let's not get into that right now, but thank you. All right. So let's keep moving. Let's get away from my feelings. Yep. I'm really bad at talking about those. We talked about it a little bit before on accident but let's dig in a little deeper. What are you learning about priorities right now?
Oh, priorities, a huge thing. This whole year has been a tough year, right? Just a lot of family health stuff. My kids had some major health concerns. So priorities, priorities are huge with me. People always wonder, why do you have an Airstream or why do you camp? And I said, because that's a priority to me. We took 6 weeks to go to North Carolina this summer. And I had to work during a lot of that, but that's a priority to me. I work really hard. Priorities are, obviously family, my faith, trying to make sure, and that gets out of whack a lot. Right. Yeah. And it takes one day, it takes one bad phone call to really throw you off. I think my priority is not reacting to everything as the world's coming to an end, because we feel like society is almost collapsing around us sometimes, right? This craziness, and being on the news or, watching the stock market, all these things, that's and Ashley and I were talking about this morning is like, that's not allowing us to be faithful to what God wants for us. It's not being faithful to putting stress on our own bodies that we don't need. We can't control all those things.
Yeah.
And so understanding, hey, I need to do one thing at a time. I need to be able to realize what my priorities are, and that's my family, business, things like that, and pouring back into other people. When I feel like when we're not giving, we're not living kind of mentality, and when you start to put that inward focus so much on yourself, you start to spiral. And so for us, health is a priority for me right now. Physical and mental health right now is a huge priority. I'm dealing with a lot of stuff. Both our kids have seizures, right? That's a big thing.
That's tough.
Febrile seizures. So, learning how to navigate that in a crazy world right now, a lot of stuff's out there. So, but priorities for me is just doing the best I can with what I have, and I don't know, being there for the family, and but also not settling at work, not like. For us, there's family priorities, there's work priorities, right?
Yeah.
And not taking those home with me. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
Not being on my phone all the time.
Absolutely.
Right. I think or endless scrolling is like, when your kid calls you out, hey, you're on your phone a lot. And you're like, oh my goodness. Like that's bad. Right. So put that down, be away from that and focus on them. Do more reading and less TV. But we're not perfect. None of us are. So I have a lot of priorities, but I think the biggest thing is one thing at a time. And spend the best quality time. Our kids are that was another TikTok, right? Your kids are only so little for so long. They're only this age for time. And that really struck me in a way, is stopping and tossing a baseball to them, or stopping and saying, hey, how was your day? Or taking them out for lunch or dinner, just one-on-one.
Yeah.
And really trying to focus on them. I took a walk with my son this morning. He wanted to just take a walk. And he's like, look how beautiful it is this morning. And isn't it nice that we're not just sitting down? And I'm like, wow, like I'm so glad I get to do that. So,
absolutely.
A lot of priorities, but the family's the first.
Yeah. This is from an external view of you again. Like we see each other in town and we're friendly and friends. And the thing that I enjoy about you that some people may not get, but the priority that you put on rest with like you guys, you have a ton going on between all the projects you have going on. Your businesses are very busy. But you guys prioritize like rest too, 100%. Which is, I feel like sometimes like we think that we just got to keep pushing for it to succeed. But if you're dead, you're not going to be able to do anything.
Yeah.
And so, you talked about fly fishing earlier.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that would not be rest for me. I would be angry at the water all the time.
Yeah.
But like finding your thing that is rest so that you can, like work from rest instead of working to rest. And
so that's so spot on. So
the thing is like everything you do, like, videography, cinematography, all that stuff is very mental, and like the business side of things, very mental. And so even just the change of pace of like, I've got to set up this camper or this trailer or Airstream, and I've got to, I'm going to get out and use my hands to do something. Like just the complete change of pace. It probably does something that sets your mind, your body, everything at ease, because it's just getting to reset and try to do something different.
It's so true. And I think we can all do that. Like, I think there's all these things and we might not know why people do enjoy certain hobbies or something. And my dad loves taking care of the lawn. It's just something he loves to do, and he kills himself doing it. But man, that's his mental outlet. He loves to do it. I think he sees that the same reason I like camping, the same reason I like fly fishing, is you have these small accomplishments that you can do. And it's important. It is so important to get outside of your home, the four walls, and get outside your comfort zone to try something new. And I think that's the biggest thing. Is like, I can do it. I was so worried when I first started Airstreaming, if I could do it. And you're like, you don't even think about it now. And it's almost like, what's that next thing? Right.
Yeah.
So anyways,
this is just a side note. If your dad ever wants to do more yard work, please send him my way. That is the bane of my existence. I've got
you and I agree upon that.
Oh man, we are. Yeah. I've got, my son is almost 8, and like in a few years, he's going to be in like yard maintenance mode. And so that is a blessing that I didn't foresee originally, but I'm very much there for it coming up soon. So
get them to work.
All right. So there's one question that we're asking everybody on the podcast, and you can take it as seriously or as light as you want to, or you can do both, because we got time. We're made of it. But what's something you're learning right now?
Ooh, something I'm learning right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm learning mindfulness.
Okay.
I'm learning to be mindful in all my situations and in life. So that's the one thing I'm learning right now.
I like it.
Simple and sweet, right?
Yeah, no. Well, we've dug in a lot on a lot of things, but yeah, I like it.
I can expand upon that, but I think it's pretty obvious. Mindfulness is big, and I think we could all practice that right now.
Yeah.
But mindfulness is what I'm after right now, and I think that can dictate so much. I'm also into. You want some random things that I'm learning?
That now I'm here for it. Let's go.
All right, good. I'm learning to hydrate myself.
Okay.
Not drink too much coffee.
Okay.
I'm learning that there's certain salts that are good for you, right?
Okay.
For hydration, sodium levels.
The pink Himalayan, obviously.
Actually, that's bad.
What?
I mean, hopefully no one says anything. I've heard that.
It's from the Himalayas,
I know,
though.
right? I've heard that. I've heard it can have heavy metals. Anyways, I'm learning a ton about.
A little bit of Metallica.
Yeah, right? Metallica. I'm going down a rabbit hole right now. I'm laughing so hard. Why was that so funny? Metallica.
I don't know.
That was so funny. I used to overdrink coffee like crazy. Obviously, drinking coffee is great and everything great for you.
Sure.
But not drinking too much of it, right? And trying to balance myself and take care of my health and learning about just my health and mental health in general. I think those are the things. But mindfulness is like the number one thing I'm learning. And I think that plays a role in everything that we do.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like it, man. Thank you for being honest.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the last round of questions. We've waded through some, like, I feel like more than most, like we've gone like serious, silly, and it makes me happy. I'm here for it. Good. So, all right. So this is the last round. It's a common ground round. I'm going to ask you 5 this or that style questions, and we'll see if maybe you and I are alike.
Oh, and
so we'll do them one at a time. You can write it on the card there. And once again, I'm going to go ahead and pre-apologize for my horrible handwriting.
That's okay.
But
and is this are you able to cut audio if I'm just kidding.
If you need me to spell them out for you, I can. All right. Again, we've talked about rest and vacations a little bit here. So, and this might be a tough one to start off for you, and I'm sorry ahead of time, but would you rather vacation at the beach or the mountains?
First world problems right there.
Seriously.
Oh,
all right. You got it over there?
No.
I gave you a one-word answer and you were writing a paragraph. I don't know what is happening right now.
Okay, well, it depends on the time of the month or time of the year, right?
You're killing me, Smalls. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. I wrote mountains. You wrote depends on the season, both summer mountains.
So it depends on the season. So in the summer, go to the mountains, and in the rest of the time, it's the beach.
I'm not a huge beach guy. I went mountains all the way.
Mountains. I love mountains. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Let's just say we got that one.
I will agree with you. Mountains is the way to go because I'm always around the beach and I grew up on the water. So let's go with mountains.
Okay, deal.
But I live not in the mountains. So
all right. So, all right, moving in.
Let's do it.
All right. Go into a movie. Would you rather watch a scary movie or a funny movie? You get one answer and no pre-qualifiers. Okay. You just have to write down one word.
All day long. We're going to agree upon this.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. I wrote funny. You wrote funny. Excellent work. Yeah.
My heart can't handle the scary stuff anymore.
You know, I've never been a scary movie guy. Yeah. In college, my friends dragged me to one scary movie. And
was it like Saw or something like that?
No, it was I think it was called White Noise.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever seen that. It wasn't like one of the big ones. Yeah. It was like we went to the dollar theater.
Oh my gosh.
And
it's just scary going to a dollar theater, right?
Yeah, the whole ambiance, it really sold it. But I literally was there white knuckled the whole time. And like there was a couple of jump scares that like got me.
Not worth it, right?
Yeah, but I white knuckled the whole time. And then at the very end, they like the monster or whatever it was came out. And it was like the most poorly done CGI that I think I've ever seen. And so I was like, I laughed.
You laughed.
I laughed in the theater. I was like, I've been like terrified this whole time waiting for, and then like, it was just like a third grader CGI. Made a CGI. And I asked my friend afterwards, I was like, are you like what scared you about that? Is like the monster at the end scared me. I was like, what are you talking about?
We are not on the same wavelength at all.
That's not. That's hilarious. So give me a funny movie any day. Do you
agree.
You have a favorite funny movie?
Ooh, favorite fun. I mean, I was a big Zoolander. That's not my favorite funny movie, but I was a big Zoolander fan back in the day. Like,
can't go wrong there.
I have endless funny movies, but I mean, I saw Napoleon Dynamite 7 times. I think in the theater, and I'm not one to do that. But I think I liked it because they only spent so much money on it, and so they had to like freestyle so much of that movie. I'm like, that was great. But yeah, there's so many good movies out there.
Yeah,
that in humor just calms us all down.
Yeah, it makes me happy. Yep. One of my favorite memories is watching the movie Hot Rod, the Andy Samberg Island movie. And it was me and my little brother, our living room and our like childhood home. And he like legitimately fell on the floor laughing. We laughed so hard together that like, that's just like, you can't go wrong with that memory.
So are you like into mockumentaries? Cause mockumentaries are like my favorite, like Waiting for Guffman, all of that. Like, those are probably my absolute favorite movies.
That, and then there's classics. You got like Python. Anything Python is just ridiculous and fantastic.
And Spinal Tap and
yeah,
right, so good.
Whew. All right, this one's a semi-strange one, but it's my podcast and you can't stop it now. When you're sleeping, would you rather sleep with it completely quiet or with some noise? So like a fan noise, white noise,
100%.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. What you got? Noise. Look, so far, are we batting 100 right now?
Well, I'll tell you what, we are very similar. I mean, we both wear glasses. We both grew up in South Florida. People don't realize that.
That's true.
We both grew up, right by West Palm or West Palm Beach, right?
Yeah. I remember the first time that we met and exchanged phone numbers, I was in shock that you had the same area code as I do because I've kept my my teenage cell phone number. And you're rocking a 561 number as well. So
except for some reason, mine's like Pahokee area, which is hilarious because I had Nextel when it came out. Okay. I thought it was so cool with Nextel. Beep, beep. Anyways, on to the next.
All right. This is the context is personal family. So like this is like you and your family. When you're taking pictures, would you rather go digital or film?
Oh shoot, man. How about, do we have to take pictures at all? I'm just kidding. Oh, that's tough. I've done both, man. That's tough.
Family vacation. Which way are you going? Here we go. You ready?
Dude, this is hard because I do digital that simulates film, but I'll go with
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, we finally split up there. Now, I went digital. You went film.
I did. No, but here's the question. Is it me taking the photos or someone else?
You.
Oh, then it's digital, straight digital. Yeah. I don't want to deal with the film side. I don't have the patience for that. Look at that.
All right. Okay. You crossed it out, rewrote. And my deal is this. I'm actually like a semi, like if my job wasn't in the church, it would be as a photographer, videographer.
Heck yeah.
And so digital gives me a bunch more opportunities to get it right.
100%.
So, I don't know what I'm doing with film.
Oh, dude, I'm with you on that. And you have to be very patient with the film. If it's someone taking it for us as a family photos, I would love film, right?
Sure.
Tina, something like that. Like I would love to go film. But if it's me taking it, Fuji X100, or the T, it's just like the XT3. That's like my go-to right now. And I know there's newer cameras out there, but Fuji, it simulates film, but then you can download it immediately on your phone and call it a day.
Yeah, I think my version of that would be either like a Polaroid if I'm going film, or a like a disposable camera. Yep. I don't know all the fancy ins and outs of like using a film camera. I would absolutely open the back on accident and ruin it. There's people just clicking off right now. They're like, what are they talking about?
They've already they dipped out after the first 25 minutes. I will say this. We do have a Polaroid in our camper, and we have a collection of Polaroids. Everywhere we go, we take a Polaroid.
That's sweet. That's fun.
In the film cut.
All right. This is the last one. We are in October. It is spooky season. It is fall season, and
Halloween Town.
I wasn't going to ask you that.
Done.
Is that your favorite scary movie? That's back to scary movies. All right. When it comes to coffee, are you going pumpkin spice or salted caramel? Now, listen, this may not be your preference all the time, but if you're going to go for a fall classic beverage, you going pumpkin spice or salted caramel?
Is there another option?
There is not. You got to pick one of the two.
Oh, that's tough.
You got to be a basic real quick.
Like cider or something, like apple cider.
Ooh, I do like apple cider.
See, like,
but we're on coffee right now.
Frothed apple cider. Oh my God. Okay. We're on coffee.
Don't say frothed on the podcast, please. Pumpkin spice, salted caramel, pumpkin spice. All right, you ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh no,
you're so basic. I'm just kidding. Salted caramel. But I could. Pumpkin spice is really good too.
I went pumpkin spice. The pumpkin spice at Concord. This is a quick plug. Actually, Concord is sponsoring today's podcast. Yeah. And so for all your coffee needs in Lakeland, please go to concordcoffee.org.
.org. We're a nonprofit now.
Yeah. But yeah, I love your guys' pumpkin spice.
Well, let's go get one after this.
Okay? Oh, please. Let's go. And then, yeah. So we're wrapping things up here. We're pretty similar, you and I.
I think we are very similar.
We got it pretty close. I feel good about that.
I'm not as funny as you. I can hands down say that.
Way handsomer though. So it evens out somewhere.
Far from it. You're a beautiful, funny man.
If people want to follow along with you and like see your Airstream adventures or get to know more about Indie Atlantic, where's a good place for them to follow you?
Follow my LinkedIn at I'm just kidding. No, it's just at Andy McEntire, everything, TikTok. And I'm surprised you did not ask me about TikTok. That's a big thing I do or used to do.
Okay.
And I'm notorious for posting random million view videos that have nothing to do with me. But anyways, you can follow me on TikTok. You can follow me. Instagram is probably the best. Sure. We don't want to touch Facebook anymore. So, okay. I mean, we're on there, but I say we, there's 3 of me. But no, hop on Instagram, follow me, shoot me a message. I admire people who, if they have a question, reach out to me. I'm always an open book to trying to help people along. So yeah. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here. This was like the most fun. I really enjoy getting to hang out with you and we'll just do this weekly. And so we can hang out more and talk about baseball cards. Yeah. Next week, this episode is about Horton Spagner. Honus. How do you say that name?
Oh my gosh. That's so good. We'll digest that next week.
Yeah. We will go through the etymology of how to say his name.
But Mickey Mantle card just went for, do you know how much? $12.5 million.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
So yeah,
we'll talk about Mickey, Minnie, and Donald next week as we talk about baseball cards. Thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me.